Welcome to the Spicy AI podcast, Ctrl-Alt-Disrupt. I'm Mark Harrison.
I'm Yana Miller, and we will be diving into AI world with a special focus on credit and order to cash, and of course, the challenges leaders facing.
We're here to ask the spicy questions others avoid, cutting through hype, challenging assumptions, and exposing where AI helps and where it hurts.
Think of us as a Stadler and Waldorf of the O2C world.
And we'll give you the first of our Stadler and Waldorf balconisms.
Stadler and Waldorf. So buckle up because this isn't just another AI podcast. It's bold, it's sharp, and yes, it comes with a Scoville ratings. What's on the menu today, Joanna?
We will be tasting Microsoft Copilot and maybe a little bit other Copilots to
Okay.
not focus too much on one.
Alrighty. So for those who don't use it, what is Microsoft Copilot to start then?
So Microsoft Copilot is AI-powered assistant, chatbot, and productivity tool. This is how it is described, and it also functions on the market and so under the name of so-called plug and play. It is actually based on the large language model and by Microsoft. This is Prometheus, if I am not wrong, the name, and obviously further, this is based on OpenAI, ChatGPT-4, and others. In the context, because we are here to talk about O2C, in the context of order to cash, this is frequently used for the time-consuming tasks like drafting responses to the customers, like summarizing through the emails thread. This is actually helpful because sometimes there is a lot of back and forth and difficult to understand the entire context. Well, it can be used to email prioritization. It can be used to read through documents over the different location, to draft meeting summaries, to draft any other communication, to work in Excel, to create graphs, charts in Excel, simple forecasts.
Okay.
Yes, so that's the main usage.
Okay, so part of what we're here to discuss today is we've heard some not so positive feedback. So is Copilot actually improving productivity, or is it just moving chaos and complexity elsewhere?
Yeah, this is controversial question and good because this is why we are here. So first of all, maybe I will start from the advantage of the Copilot. So first of all, the Copilot is embedded into the Microsoft environment. That's why companies are shifting to Copilot to give employees some different tool that open source ChatGPT, etc., because this is safer environment for the companies. But regarding the productivity, so the truth is that Copilot is not designed for the enterprises to handle complex tasks. It is good with the simple things like drafting or creating slides, but everything that is done by Copilot needs to be fine-tuned. So from one side, it gives it gives you the productivity, because imagine, like you probably seen, you have like email thread that goes 5 months back with various people involved. So in this context, If you would like to read this email through, you would probably spend, I don't know, 2 hours, but Copilot can run through it and summarize it for you very quickly. It also, well, for people who struggle with Excel, which is not really not that uncommon, it can be great help, or even people who are working on the data cleansing in master data teams. They can use it to help them to clean review the data, review inconsistencies. So yeah, it can be used here. But when it comes to more complex regulation, even internal policies, financial decisions, or coding, that's not enough. The problem is with the Copilot that this is just a large language model. This is one. So it hallucinates, and it actually reflect the volume bias. We will be talking that next
time.
next part.
Why then is it failing? Because it seems like a number of executives are going down the road of plug and play and expecting all the things you've been describing. You can do all these high level tasks. Is it failing because of vendor hype, or because organizations lack readiness, awareness, and one of our favorite subjects, governance?
Well, I believe the fault is on both sides. So first of all, the vendors should knowing, actually, because I am not convinced that Microsoft doesn't know what is the level of knowledge about how large language model and AI functions, because they are selling it. So they exactly know what are the basic requirements and when the tool is delivering good results. So definitely this is not even close to plug and play. So plug and play, yes. Plug and play, no. So what needs to be done actually is, first of all, transparency on the vendor side. But on the other side, companies are responsible for their own investment. So if you're investing in the area that you don't really understand, then obviously you fail. So under investment in the education, self education, people education, decision makers education in the area that that is actually overtaking our lives. So this is nothing like nice to know. This is have to, and there is the urgency, and all the companies are, under pressure to transform with AI. But if they don't understand, they never invest in the tool or invest in the solution if the tool doesn't provide the relevant solution to make the AI work, because they need to understand that that company, I believe they know that the data that we are producing in any company are imbalanced. It's natural. I never seen that every customer has the same number of invoices. No. So this is unrealistic. There is different situation, different credit limits, different groups of customers, different segments, etc. So data are naturally biased. So and actually, this is not Copilot failure. We cannot blame Copilot itself, because it works like it is designed.
On that point, I think it's really important that something we're going to emphasize a lot in this series is that when we talk about training of the people, the users, yes, understand more about AI, Copilot, and every other application that's being used, but also it's essential they understand the basics of the actual job itself. Like we were talking just now about volume bias. Now you've got to have a really reasonable understanding of your portfolios. And you mentioned different things there, payment methods, payment terms, number of invoices, and so on. The people that are working in our case, in credit control, collections, disputes, cash allocation, and so on, to have a really good understanding of what it is that they're working for today. And that's absolutely essential if you're going to transfer over or spend more time on technology, because it's all very well learning how AI works, but if you can't put it in the context of your day-to-day job on our side or in AP or other areas, you're not going to be able to see when errors occur. You're just going to say, well, that's what Microsoft says, so here we go.
Yeah, we cannot totally we cannot rely, especially on the Copilot when we treat it as plug and play. So the Copilot requires balanced data, and we don't have this balanced data. So in fact, the Copilot in current format, we cannot use even for more advanced tasks. So imagine that you have credit policies stored on the shared drive, you have emails with customers' financial data, and you have what else we can have, Dun & Bradstreet or any experience, credit reform, whatever reports, various. And we ask Copilot make the analysis out of this. On top, he needs to retrieve the payment behavior data. But first thing, on our shared drive, we have 10 versions of the credit policy. Out of 10, 3 are expired, 4 are draft of the future policies, and Copilot doesn't know that. He will just take whatever it is. Then the customer data. If we don't review what we are feeding Copilot with, there may be incomplete data, missing pages, etc. And well, actually, payment behavior. So this is also interesting because Copilot doesn't know what the good payment behavior depends on the industry, on the company politics as well, because some companies allow, I don't know, 10% up to 30%, and some companies like Johnson Controls require a maximum 4% one day past. So you don't know, and Copilot doesn't know. How can you trust Copilot without curating the data that you feed Copilot with? You cannot.
This comes back to something you and I have spoken about a few times, and I guess this comes back to what we said at the beginning about governance. So who's the owners of this? To me, it seems it has to be cross-functional. IT for their expertise, but really the majority has to be led by the credit O2C teams. It's their data.
Yeah, definitely. So the data in the companies should be treated as a product, not the side product, because many times there is a thinking, okay, so this is just something in the system. The real work is happening here when I think, when I do, etc. No, data is a product because this is order, this is quote, this is credit limit, this is invoice that moves the money, even though they are in the virtual format, and this is frequently missing. On top, well, Copilot is designed like that. So Copilot doesn't let you to retrain the data on company, retrain the model on company data. So the training is fixed. You get the product that is trained on a generic data. Then it works on your data that is imbalanced and cannot give you realistic
Realistic.
patterns.
Yeah.
You cannot, in my opinion, and yeah, I will be repeating it all and over. In my opinion, any AI tool shouldn't be plugged directly into the system, any system, any email, because unless used to the specific cases like summarizing the meetings or summarizing the emails, because the volumes are unequal. So whatever is there, it will be amplified. If there are errors or missing data, it will make it up. So each product should be heavily verified by specialists, especially in finance. We cannot totally rely. So it needs to be really treated as an assistant, because what experts are complaining about, this is not only about the emails were prioritized incorrectly, but also it can lead to some consequences. But it can be situation where the tax advisor or the tax department and utilizing Copilot to create tax strategy for the next quarter. And actually, well, there was information floating that actually reviewing the output from Copilot took them longer than if they would create it from scratch. Because Copilot, like every LLM, hallucinating, and if he doesn't know, he make up an answer. And this is natural behavior, so this is not its fault. It is probabilistic model, so it just gives the words that fit best. So we need to be very careful.
There's a temptation here. Well, before I go on to the next point, I think first of all, what you've been describing there really is no different to any other technology. And going back a couple of minutes, we were talking about just relying on saying, well, this information came out of Copilot or whatever system, therefore it's right. And this is no different really to, I mean, I bet a million times a day people are still putting wrong formula into an Excel spreadsheet. It's the same thing, right? And you got to kind of know that it looks right or it's not right and so on. My next question I wanted to look at really, there's a temptation here really, isn't there, to use Copilot as like an unsupervised digital intern. Cheap, right? You get a lot of things done for very little cost. And when you were talking about email prioritization, I think you had a personal experience, or somebody close to you had a personal experience where that was part of what they wanted Copilot to do, organize their emails. Well, tell us how it all ended up. What was the logic applied?
Oh yeah. So obviously frequency over quality. Because this is plug and play meet effect actually. Because if you think about plug and play, someone is telling you, you just plug and you have everything done. So you are following it, you are plugging, and then and you are not aware about the biases, about how it works, and actually, like every probabilistic model and statistical model, it considers frequency as the most important, or the very high numbers as the most important. And without any curation, like weighting or rebalancing, sampling, undersampling, that we will be going back to this topic as well later, this will not prioritize correctly. And this is, sometimes this is, it can be small problem, but sometimes it can be big problem, because what people are very frequently using to, after the holidays, to prioritize. And even this prioritization can lead to some harmful situation. For example, if Actually, out of 500 emails that you receive during the holiday, you get the highlight that the HR is changing the interior of your office, considers the most important, and there is the email ignored from the important customer, but only one.
Yeah. They're not paying you a million.
That
They're not
about
paying
the
you a million
quality
dollars.
climb,
Mm.
urgent need to act, or there is a follow-up from the sales manager about the credit limit extension. Otherwise, we lose the customer. So, it can be really hurting in the terms of revenue, future sales.
And the priority would be from HR that we got donuts on Friday, and that $1 million customer is still 257 down the list of priorities, right? So, yeah.
Exactly. And he will be there
Yeah.
if we don't wait the emails and continuously, because also the other problem is that our priorities are changing and directly. So if we want to plug it into the systems, we would need to uh, figure out the really complex weighting method that actually would need to be adjusted periodically or permanently. So that creates additional layer of work to make the copilot work. And still there is a hallucination risk. Definitely we would need to have I am not talking now about balancing, but because even if the data is clear, let's assume this miracle, we have clear data. So still there is a volume imbalance in the naturally. But normally we have errors, we have missing, we have misspelled areas, and Copilot doesn't help here. We have outdated files on our shared drive, 5,000 version of the new future credit policy, and none of them tagged as future outdated current, because we are working and we know which one. No, which one is this? So we do not even think to tag it. So the tagging exercise would be huge.
I think the what's I mean we're getting near the end of our time for this session, but I think the moral of the story, as is ever thus, nothing new. It's been the same for decades and decades. You got to get your data right, right? Your data's got to be good and clean, and if nothing else, this latest wave of technology is going to drive organizations to start right upstream at the very beginning. Data entry, getting it right. From a credit control point of view, or everybody working now in operational credit collections and so on, wonderful opportunities for them to advance their careers moving over into the digital side. But you've got to understand the basics, right? It's like I said earlier, it's all very well, being very competent on what Copilot or other aspects of AI can do, but if you can't put it in the context of operational reality, it doesn't have a great deal of relevance. So sadly, yes, we've been beaten by the clock. Great session. Thanks very much, Joanna. If you want to know more, please get in touch with Joanna or myself. We'd love to hear your opinions, whether you agree or not. Next time we explore the recipe for volume bias, right? Volume bias. Yes. So see you soon and keep your AI spicy.
Yay.
Yay. Thank you and goodbye.